Next part of this presentation is to analyze the issues of corporate governance. So in Amazon Inc., it consists of 6 executive directors and 10 non-executive directors in their board of directors. So among all that 6 executive directors, it was head by Jeffrey Bezos, who is the president, the CEO, and also the chairman of the company. And as you can see, there are five five other executive directors, which is Brian T. Olszewski, who is the CFO and the vice president, Andrew R. Jassy, who is the CEO of Amazon Web Service. Amazon Web Service is one of the subsidiary of Amazon Inc. Shelley L. Reynolds, vice president of Worldwide Control and principal accounting officer. Jeffrey A. Wilkes, who is the CEO of Worldwide Consumer, also the subsidiary of Amazon Inc. And David A. Zapolsky, who is the Vice President of General Counsel and Secretary. As for the non-executive directors, again, it is head by Jeffrey Bezos because, as I mentioned earlier, he is the president, CEO, and also the chairman. And the next NED is Rosalind G. Brewers, who is the group president. She is also the group president and the CFO of Starbucks Corporation. And Jamie S. Gorlick was that he is a partner of the law firm Wilmer Cutler Pickering Hale and Dorr LLP. Daniel P. Hutterlocker, who is the dean of MIT Schwarzman College of Computing. Judith A. McGrath, who is the senior advisor of Astronaut Wanted, no experience necessary. It's a astronaut company that takes volunteers who have no experience in astronology. And anyway, so Wendell P. Weeks, who is the CEO of Corning Incorporated. Indra K. Noy, who is the CEO of PepsiCo and used to be the director of SLB. That's it, me. Jonathan J. Rubenstein, who used to be a CEO of Bridgewater Associates LP. Thomas O. Ryder, who is the chairman and the CEO of the Reader's Digest Association. And lastly is Patricia Q. Stonesifer, who was the president and CEO of Mata Table. So as you can see, the NED are all external directors. So in Amazon Inc., they consist of 3 board committees. Who is the
Anya, wait. Anya.
Yes, sir.
The slide before. I want to see the slide before just now.
Sorry?
Who's CEO? Who's chairman? Okay. All right. Okay.
So in Amazon, they have 3 board committees. As we all know, is Audit Committee, Nominating and Corporate Governance Committee, and Leadership Development and Compensation Committee. So all this committee, they have their main task. As usual, they have their task. So in Audit Committee, the main task is to assist the company, the board director, to overview the responsibility of the company's financial statement and the financial reporting processes, independent auditors' qualification performance, internal audit function performance, and the compliance of legal and regulatory requirements. So all this committee, the members and the chairperson of the committee are all the NEDs, as I mentioned before, all the 9 NEDs except for Jeffrey Bezos. So in the audit committee, the members of the committee is Indra Kinui and Wendell P. Weeks, and the chairperson of the committee is Thomas O. Ryder. So for the Nominating and Corporate Governance Committee, so the task is to review the composition of the board, to identify the potential new candidate, to recommend the candidate for election as the directors. And the members of the committee is Jonathan J. Rubenstein and Patricia Q. Stonesifer. And the chairperson is Jamie S. Gorlick. As for the leadership, As for the Leadership Development Compensation Committee, so the main task is to evaluate the company's program and practices relating to talent and leadership development. And they also establish the report of the compensation for the company's CEO. And they oversee the management risk for succession planning and composition, and lastly, it's to oversee the company's strategy and policy related to human capital management. And the member is Rosalind G. Brewer and Daniel P. Huttenlocker, and chairperson is Judith A. McGrath. Okay. So among all the board members, as we can see, there's not much diversity in the board members. So as we can see in the diversity in gender, for the executive directors, there are only 6 people, but there's only 1 woman. But for the NED, there are 10 people, and 5 of them are women, so considered as half-half. But in total, out of 16 people, there's only 6 women. So it's equivalent to 37.5 of overall board member. So it's diverse, but not as diverse as it should be. Um, as for the race, before 2019, before they hire,
Alia, if according to Malaysia,
if according to Malaysia, they need to be at least 30% women.
so is it okay?
Should be okay, but they can do better. Just because
Alright.
the rule says 30% doesn't mean they have to stick to 30%.
But they comply.
No, in America they don't have the they don't have the rule
Yeah.
that specifically said it has to be 30%.
Yeah, in US, no, but I mean, if we apply to Malaysian case,
Yeah,
then
it's okay lah. It's good enough.
okay.
Better than nothing.
Alright.
But as for race, as we can see, prior in February 2019, all board members are white people. But starting from February 2019, that's when they hire 2 women of color, so the non-white people. So starting from February 2019, then they have slight diversity. But even then, only 2 out of 16 members are people of color. That is equivalent to 12.5% of total members. So when it comes to gender, yes, it's quite diverse, but when it comes to race, not so much.